Hey everybody, hi, it's me, Invicta, here with another Eden run in this fine month of June. So it has been a couple days since I've played Isaac. I stayed true to my word on the last episode. I did not touch Isaac for the 48 hours, and I feel better. I do feel better. How this is going to translate, I don't know in terms of what type of run we've got, but we do have amazing fan art of the day sitting here by New Dachi. I'm not sure which one they want me to call them, but title thread was Invicta fan art, and this is just an amazing piece of art that New did. There was something that they were talking about on Discord, and this is another good reason why you want to check out the Invicta Mosh Pit Discord if you are a member of the YouTube Mosh Pit here on the paid membership, or of course the Twitch Mosh Pit or Patreon. Go check it out. We have an art channel, we have a meme of the day submission channel, all that kind of good stuff. So let's hop on in and see what we got going on today. I know that this week has been rough so far. This month has been rough, but we're going to pull through it. Alpha Hotel, Romeo 6, Zinnia. We've got Curse of the Blind, Floor 1. All right, starting off to a hot start here. We're also starting off with Wavy Cap and Spirit Shackles, which both of these items are... They're certainly... At least we already have a good starting tears rate here and good damage, and also somewhat competent movement speed. Our shot speed is also not that great, but it's still far leaps and bounds better than what we've been seeing so far anyway, knock on wood, of this past week and this whole month of June. It took me basically staying away from Isaac for the last couple of days to realize that this week, even in the toxic episode, if you want to go to if you minus the greed run, of course, go to the regular Eden run, all this madness really did seem to start with that episode. So, and the common thread so far has been poor movement speed, and this is something I was talking about on stream a couple days ago, where I was like, it really is kind of insane how bad the runs have been. But I wanted to. I'm just going to do it because it's at this point, what do we have to lose? I wanted to sort of like just kind of decompress and compartmentalize everything that has been going on so far in June in terms of Isaac. And, it's you take the good with the bad, right? Everything at the moment feels like it's the worst thing of all time. Was episode 1069, was that the worst of all time? It may have been, may not have been. Obviously, people are gonna say that it wasn't. We've seen much worse than that. It's probably true. Like it probably is true. But at the time, everything always feels bad. So whenever it's not going right, it always just like, oh man, the world's against you. When everything's going good, it's like, oh man, the world's great. So the way I'm kind of just approaching this month and just for the near future in terms of Isaac runs, is just that. You know what? We've had a string of lots of really good runs in the past, and now's our time to have lots of really bad runs. And we just have to, we got to kind of survive through it, and that's just what we're going to do here. So let's hope we got ourselves a nice, fun run today, shall we? But at least people are entertained. People have been enjoying the absolute madness. Some people have been mentioning, if you're just taking pills, I'm like, we're not going to do this whole song and dance again. Like, yes, if we had taken something that it would have given us a movement speed upgrade or a tears upgrade or health up, would this run have been drastically different? Yes, but again, the same thing applies. If we taken that pill and it gives us a movement speed down or a tears down, then it's also drastically different. It gets extremely harder to beat at that point. So, and it is a stylistic decision not to go and just do that route. So going to last week's question of the episode. This is from the Crawl 4 episode. Coming in from Sea-Dog, once again. Thank you very much, Sea-Dog. Question of the episode. If you didn't have Isaac, what other game would you think would be the main series on the channel? Honestly, probably Lobotomy Corporation. I don't think I've seen any other game really sustain the level of attention that Lobotomy Corporation has had on my channel. you know, there was, of course, Here's the Storm. I did Here's the Storm for a very long time, but that's only really as popular as the game stays popular in terms of like esports. You know, with a game like Lobotomy Corporation, it's not tied to like, you know, a big corporation, no pun intended, or like Blizzard or like the state of esports or something like that. You know, it's an enduring game that has a cult following, a very strong cult following at that. And what really helps out in that, for that game in particular, is the fact that it's released in so many countries in so many languages, and it helps that it's a foreign developed game for being a Korean game. So like, you know, people find this game many years down the road, and they're like, I cannot believe I didn't know that you played this game. And at the time, I had one of the very few, if not the only, full playthrough by an American YouTuber of Lobotomy Corporation. So that really helped persist and kept the attention alive for that series. And to this day, Lobotomy Corporation remains one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of the best games. It's not flawless. It's definitely heavy on the reading side. There's a lot of really cryptic mechanics that go into it, but it's one of the few games where I've actually cared about the story. It has to be super fan, thank goodness. I've cared about the story. Actually, the characters are very interesting, and just the universe that they've crafted it's just so, like, Project Moon did a fantastic job at making what they wanted to make. And it's refreshing. It was refreshing. Even though the game is you know, by today's standards, it's considered very old, it's still worth playing. And if you've never played Lobotomy Corporation, I highly recommend it. Now, the sequels are a mixed bag. I did like Library of Ruina. I still need to beat it. I still need to beat Lobotomy Corporation, technically. But I'm not sure if I'm ready to dive back into that frustration, because it is a very difficult game. Library of Ruina was a lot of fun, and Limbus Company was just not my thing. I didn't like the combat with it. It's very off to me. And the fact they turned it into a gacha game, you'd think that I would like absolutely just love it, because I'm a huge fan of gacha games and mobile games, but the combat just wasn't interesting. I've heard since Limbus Company came out that they actually have put out some pretty good updates, so I may give it another look, but I'm not doing it on a story-based level. A story-based playthrough, I mean. I'm going to take Guppy said, I'm going to leave Black Powder, and we're going to head on down. I had lots of people on last week's episode talking about, you know, just the origins of them becoming members of the Mosh Pit, and you know, who they used to watch on YouTube and that sort of thing. Lots of people coming over from Ryan's channel, and it's a great honor for me to even have any loose connection with Ryan's Isaac series. You know, he is the main source of inspiration that I started doing the YouTube videos for Isaac. Even though he technically wasn't the person who introduced me, that was Lethal Frag, who is another one of my inspirations and good friend. And you know, and that was very endearing to me, because it means that, like, you know, to I don't want to say replace him with me, but with people even like choosing to watch me over Ryan is a huge, it's a big compliment. And Ryan and I have talked about, I mean, we've talked about Isaac for years. You know, he's one of my really good friends, and we think a lot alike in terms of the business, in terms of just life in general, and we've always gotten along great. And you know, to be able to be even associated with him, just wanting to do like a collab, like, if those of you who've been around for a while, you remember I said the dream collab with me would be with Northern Lion, and then we ended up becoming friends, which is just crazy. I have no key here. I'm gonna get a luck upgrade from Dad's coin. Our damage is very good right now, but we need a key. Thank you. I think with this key here, we got to go into the shop. It's only one key. The potential for us to get even more keys out of there is high. I know the secret room is here based on everything else that I've seen. Of course, it's not there because, you know, just wanted to trick you, of course. It's going to be next to the shop, obviously. Obviously. Gonna bomb this here just so we have a slightly higher chance for a double deal, and also maybe no. This force is gonna keep on going, isn't it? Yeah, Ryan and I became very good friends. We were introduced to each other by Mathis, and secondarily by Mathis because it was on a video with TB when we did Space Food Truck. That was the first time that we had ever met. And it was a very big moment for me because I was a huge fan and still am a huge fan of Ryan. And being able to just be in a video with him that would not have been possible without TB, without John. Absolutely take the treasure map here. I am going to buy another key. Let's go see what's inside this gold, and never mind. I'm not going to use a bomb either. We do have the reroll with the Isaac, the ruin of, or the Isaac soul. I mean, I guess we'll take little Chad. Super secret room is most likely here. If it's not, then it's got to be here. No, it can't be there. I don't know. Obviously, we're going to save the Soul of Isaac for probably not the boss pedestal, but definitely the Devil Deal pedestal, just to give us some more options here. I'd love to see like a dual stat upgrade, like growth hormones, or maybe, you know, just something other than regular HP. I'll take a Tears upgrade. It's too good to reroll. And yeah, we're looking very solid on the stats so far. But shifting focus to Isaac, you know, it's there's a certain demographic of the mosh pit that loves, and I mean loves, those struggle bus runs, and I definitely understand why. You know, it puts me. It's kind of like what Zombolus and I talked about. If the game forces you to adapt, and if you don't, you simply lose. You just die. And, you know, I've said for many years that Isaac is a game where all the RNG, all the mistakes, all that sort of thing can all be overcome by simply just being a better player. It's one of the few roguelites that you really can overcome bad RNG with good personal skill level. And it's still true. It still holds true. You know, of course I won't ever admit to it or talk about it, but you know, I'm pretty good at Isaac. I better be after putting in, you know, almost 5,700 hours or whatever my count is at now. And there are times this past week where I've just been like, yeah, for some reason this feels different. You know, like I'm off my game. I've been getting rattled by just a big combination of things. But I'm still not going to. I'm not going to stray from my path. If I decide to like have to take pills or something like that, then you know we'll cross that road when we get there. But for me, I think that one of the things that keeps me in my comfort zone is not going too far out of it. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but what I mean by that is like in times of desperation and really, really, really bad runs. You know, how risky do you, it's risk assessment when it comes down to it. How risky do you want to get in terms of like, are you going to start taking pills? Because if it bombs hard, that could be the final nail in the coffin, or it could save you. It really is. It's pure RNG unless you have some kind of Virgo or PhD or something like that. And for some, excuse me, for some people, it frustrates them to see me to hold on to my style despite being in a very desperate situation. And again, I understand why, because they're like, well, you could have just, you know, again, going to pills or just whatever. You know, if you just taken a little bit more risk, maybe this would have been better. Wow. And to that I say, if I had taken a little bit more risk, it could have been worse. I mean, you just never know. I do believe that after a certain point of bad, the level of personal skill can only carry you so far, and you make it almost impossible for yourself to win. And on any of those runs, I feel like if we had gotten another movement speed down, or tears down, or a health down, or a really poorly timed bad trip, I think that would have been it. Yeah, big paperclip. With the Pact, I'm still not going to use the Soul of Isaac because I really don't think we need to. I'm not going to take False PhD again. I will take the Pact, however. Now, what this does, and this is a little bit risky, but I'm feeling much more confident in this run than I have the last 3 days. With us having Scapular, this is going to allow us to infinitely do the Sack Room Shuffle. This is also going to give us access into the Boss Trap Room, which could potentially give us even more damage or HP. So there's a little bit of a risk here, but with Scapular, we can at least do this infinitely. And then we also have the Soul of Isaac in case if we end up wanting to re-roll the Angel Statue pedestals. So walking out, walking back in. We don't need False PhD. We just talked about that. I'm not picking this up right now because we're going to wait until we go to the next floor. We do get a Soul Heart, which is good. So now I have to decide whether or not I want to fight Uriel or not. I think I will to get those item pedestals here. Just have to be careful. You can trap them against the spikes. We have not great movement speed, but enough to kind of maneuver. Okay, so Scapular's gone. We know it's gone because there's no glowing aura around Isaac right now. Come back here, get the Soul Hearts, go back here, do it again. We're still not going to take the Soul Hearts yet because I do want to go into the Boss Trap Room. So I'm trying not to touch any of the Soul Hearts right now. Which Uriel is it's making it difficult to fight Uriel here because I'm trying to avoid them. Nice little snipe there by Fate's Reward. There we go. So, now, before we go and use the Soul of Isaac, let's just go take a brief glimpse into what is inside of the Boss Trap Room. We just need to lose 1/2 of a Soul Heart. It's going to be a little bit difficult to do, obviously, because we have Scapular, but we don't want to walk over... we don't want to walk over spikes, because that's going to take 1 full heart of damage. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just going to... Like, it's just going to pop off with Scapular, as you just saw right there. We need to find a fire or something. See there, that doesn't matter. I think there's a fire in the item room. Oh. Look, we're getting in there, game, no matter what. There we go. Okay. There we go. Now, that being said, Scapular cannot save us anymore because we are no longer able to regenerate 1 soul heart, because if we take 1 soul heart damage, we're dead. So that made that decision easy. All right. And we are sacrificing Boss Rush here, but I think this is definitely worth it. Use a Soul of Isaac in here.
Soul of Isaac.
Get Robo Baby 2.0, and honestly, I'm just not even going to bother. I'm not going to take the key pieces either, because if we end up getting the D6 or something like that, we're just simply going to... We're removing the ability to create more item pedestals. And another reason is because the fact that we have Scapular now means that as long as we get down to a half-heart interval, we'll be able to use it indefinitely and just fully max out on Sack Room Shuffles. And to me, that's worth more than losing the ability to take more item pedestals out of there. Got plenty of HP now, so we might as well go into the Curse Room. Of course, we have a guppy item, which means that we're never going to see another guppy item, but you never know. Definitely check out Lobotomy Corporation if you've never played it or seen it before. Or if you really want to go the distance, watch my playthrough first, at least of Season 1 and Season 2 of Lobotomy Corporation. It is worth your time, I promise. So you may get frustrated a little bit with the skipping because there is a lot of reading, and it took me a few episodes to get into the game before I was really kind of getting into the game in terms of lore. I'm one of those Neanderthals that I don't care about the story in a video game. But if the gameplay is good enough and the story makes me care enough about it, then like it's a full experience. And that's exactly what happened with Lobotomy Corporation. But the first few episodes may frustrate you if you don't like skipping through the dialogue and stuff. I do try to read most of it, but there are times where I'm like, okay, this is getting way too wordy for me. It is worth it, I promise you. The game the series would not have been so popular throughout the years if people didn't enjoy it. And that's really what, like, to that point, like, speaking about Isaac, it's the same thing with this series. You know, there's not everyone in the world likes my videos, not everyone in the world likes me, and that's just how it goes for anything. But if people weren't enjoying the videos, if people weren't enjoying the, you know, keep coming back for more, they would simply move on to other things. And that's just how entertainment works, you know. So through the good and the bad, the mosh pit is always sticking with me, and I couldn't be more thankful. I really couldn't. It's, you know, we broke over this past weekend. We ended up breaking my all-time, or not even breaking, we set a new all-time sub record on Twitch. And that was something that I'm very proud of, and also I was totally floored by, because it just came out of nowhere, especially off the tail end of the subathon. We absolutely crushed the final number that we had gotten to after the subathon, after 19 days. And that kind of stuff, like, it's crazy for people who don't know our community to see that, because they're like, what in the world, like, what does everyone like about this guy so much, is what what I've seen. And you know, I always feel a little tinge of guilt, because I'm like, you know, when lots of nice things are happening to you all at once from many different people, it's kind of like there must be something wrong. You know, I'm waiting for the sitch. I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall, so to speak. Not that I think anyone's acting with ulterior motives. That's just how I feel. And a lot of the times when I talk about that on stream, people are like, dude, you don't have to pay us back. Just keep doing you. You just be you for yourself. And that's all I ever can be. Through bad runs, through good runs, and everything in between, man. Mosh Pit is truly legendary. And we really gained a lot of recognition with that tweet that I posted. I didn't want to post it on YouTube because I didn't want people to take it the wrong way. There's a tinted rock. I knew it. Trying to hide a tinted rock down there on me. I didn't want to post it on YouTube because I didn't want people on YouTube to think that I'm like being braggadocious about it. I am proud of the mosh pit and the community that I've built. You know, I didn't have any help from a massive YouTuber or anything like that. I kind of built this community just from being influenced largely in part by the streamers that I liked, which was Lethal Frag. Frag had a very big influence on how I run things on Twitch, and kind of cultivated, you know, you keep the people that support you, and you know, you nurture that feeling. And Frag really taught me about that. In my early days of streaming, before I was even like this is right after I got actually Twitch partnership. Can't believe the Super Secret was not there. And you know, my network that I'm signed to, SideQuest Media, they were talking about it in our private Discord, and you know, people are just they're floored. They're floored that a channel my size is able to garner so much attention and love for so long, just doing the same things over and over again. And I'm like, yeah, every day I wake up and I'm like, man, this is incredible. But let's focus at the task at hand now, because this is a run where, you know, we're getting very aggressive with these Sacrum Shuffle plays, which is good because I mean we can afford to. It's just the play. You get Scapular, this is the play, but we got to be careful about going down to too low of HP going into the late game here, brother. I'm not going down any further. Not right now. We have another Sacrum here, which I'm hoping will produce a usable Angel Deal item. I mean, Redemption is Redemption. Like, we love Redemption here. All my homies love Redemption. Redemption is going to give us a permanent damage upgrade for any and all Devil Deals that we skip. And it is a great way to sort of recycle a Devil Deal. We don't really need... Well, I guess there's no reason not to. We have the Master Lockpicking, but in case... Like, I want to save a couple keys for... Because remember, we have Guppy's Tail, so our key generation is going to be a little bit low. Definitely do not want Mr. Boom. The fact that there's a mini-boss here means that we do not have to worry about a greed fight for our last floor, which is the reason why I'm not going too hard on that claw machine that was very happily robbing us. It looks like the Troll Engine took a day off today, because so far anyway we're kind of smooth sailing. Now we did get 2 Guppy items, or we have a total of 2 Guppy items now, and I'd be very surprised, pleasantly so, if we ended up getting Guppy somehow. Flying is definitely something that we need. Again, we have kind of substandard movement speed right now, so I would enjoy a flying upgrade. All I need to see about that one there, Chief. We'll take card reading. I will take blanket. This might be one of those times where I just simply don't go after the Sacrum Shuffle, because I don't necessarily want to... We're not on a half heart, and we have no way of getting there without burning through all of our soul hearts, then taking red heart damage. Go ahead and pass on that Gemini there as well. Oh yeah, that was another interesting comment I saw on Sunday's episode, on the Toxic episode. Somebody said, I'm surprised that Invicta didn't go off about how you can't control Toxic Shock's damage. That's a big difference. You're not dealing with Clown Physics, you're not dealing with anything that's around you. Toxic Shock's damage works as soon as you walk into a room. The reason why I was reminded by this, by the way, was just because I was about to talk about how Gemini, you know, outgoing damage, yada, yada, yada. And that reminded me of that comment that I saw from Sunday's episode. There's a big difference in controlling your damage, your outgoing damage, when you're firing something or when something fires a shot, interacting with the physics and that sort of thing. Whereas Toxic Shock, you don't have to worry about any of that. It simply just activates as soon as you go into the room. So, by my definition of arbitrary rules, that does not qualify in terms of controlling your outgoing damage, because it's just damage. It's not really moving or shifting anything in any way, shape, or form. The only possibility or scenario where that would kind of fall under that category would be if you spawn in a room that had nothing but bomb flies and they were all right next to the door or something like that. That's the only way that sort of qualifies by my system of not controlling outgoing damage, and that's a particularly not great scenario. Now we'll see here if we end up getting a Devil Deal or not. I'm not expecting one. It's funny how how me reading the comments kind of like just gets filed under the I'm probably gonna this is gonna get deleted in 7 days file. But then me randomly remembering something about that just yanks it right out of that garbage. The recycle bin. I do not know how this fly is still alive. I still don't know how this fly is still alive. But this is a scenario where I'm not down with playing the sack room anymore for now, unless we get rid of our red heart HP, and even then it represents a bad time to go down to low health, unless we get those 7 soul hearts back from the sack room shuffle, which with this movement speed I don't trust. So no Devil Deal, no surprise there. So we make a decision. Now, what may sway my decision here is the fact that we have card reading. If we can get an HP upgrade from the boss trap room, that also has a pretty big impact on whether or not we move forward with the sack room shuffle play. Okay, we're going to leave that blue heart, the soul heart there. Going to bomb every single one of these fires. So we can go down to basically 1.5 hearts, and then we have to take damage on that soul heart to get inside of the boss trap room. There we go. No reason not to bomb any of these skulls here. They don't spawn any hosts. Oh, not a single host. Strength card we can use in case of emergency. Now what we cannot do is we cannot tap the sack room with simply 1/2 of an HP. We have to have 1.5 HP. Because it's going to inflict 1 full heart of damage. And Scapular only kicks in whenever you get inflicted down to 1/2 heart of HP total. That's when the Scapular protection kicks in. If you take lethal damage, you will die. You can't rely on Scapular for everything, but it is fantastic if you get hit. Like, we could get hit by one of these flies and then get given a soul heart, because that won't kill us. That'll take us to a 1/2 heart. But if we get hit by Monstro, we're dead. I gotta be very careful here. In fact, it would probably work out in our benefit to purposely take damage from one of these fly shots, but I'm gonna try not to. Because what we can do is, after this fight, we can go down to a 1/2 heart by walking into the fire and then picking up that 1/2 soul heart, and then that's all we need. This is not a good scenario here against Bloat. Bloat also won't kill us unless we walk on the creep, I believe. His brimstone shot will not kill us. I'm also just trying to get my dodging chops back, as they've been noticeably bad the last couple of episodes. Little Chad giving us a 1/2 heart. I appreciate that. That 1/2 soul heart right there is the most important part of this whole equation. Okay, we get deck of cards. The Hierophant card is very big. We can use that for the next floor and still maintain the strength buff. Oh, there we go. Gonna take Spider Bite. Gonna stick with Guppy's Head, although maybe not, because we did get some good luck out of here. There's the fire into it. There's Scapula kicking in. Now we are Gucci. Actually, I apologize, but before we get to this, I'm going to pause the recording real quick because someone's at the door. Okay, sorry about that. My new bed cover arrived. Sensor, which I'm just even going to do knowledge here. We get a soul heart, good. So we're still kind of hoping for the 7 soul hearts here. We get them, good. Good, that's good. Yeah, I got a new bed cover. It's one of those. By the way, maintaining a half heart interval here is extremely important. I got one of those new. They're like, it's like a thermal. It's almost like a pad that you sleep on, and it's got that cooling gel in it that's supposed to make it like. It's supposed to make it all like, you know, cold on your skin and stuff. Because I'm a hot sleeper. When I sleep, I'm an oven, man. Like I straight up just you might as well just like put some eggs on me because like I'm gonna fry them. Get the blue portal, which is going to take us to the secret room here. And I've had these. So I have a Tempur-Pedic mattress, which is super. It was very expensive at the time, and it's, you know, it's okay. My back ends up hurting most of the night if I don't move or something like that, which is not good. I mean, I'm looking at getting a new bed anyway. But the whole mattress is made out of this cooling gel, so I'm familiar with like the feelings of it and like what it's supposed to do. But I can tell you one thing: it doesn't keep you cool all the time. Like it basically, as soon as you get under the blankets and stuff, or at least lay down on the top sheet and everything, it does feel cool at first, but it quickly warms up. That's the thing about gel, is that it warms up. It doesn't matter how much. How cool the gel is to the touch when being exposed to air. Your body heat basically cooks it. At least mine does anyway. So, but this new pad is like it's a separate pad that like you put over like a dust shield or something like that in your mattress, and it's supposedly made of newer technology material, but I don't know. I'm kind of skeptical whenever I hear like, oh, this is the new tech. It's like, okay. Although I will say. I am excited about this. I got one of those BedJet things. It's not the BedJet brand that you see advertised, but it's essentially the exact same thing. So, and all that is that you basically are sleeping. Let's stop taking some damage here. You're basically sleeping on one of those. It's another pad, but Chad, come on now. Well, it doesn't matter now. It like you sleep on this pad that pumps air up through it, and this is designed for you to sleep on, but you're doing this underneath your blankets and underneath your sheets and stuff. So it creates like this little pocket of air that's always kind of circulating over you, and it's basically like an under the blankets air conditioner kind of. You can turn it to warm or cold. And I'm super stoked to get it because, like, I tried it out in the mattress store when I was looking for beds. And I was like, I almost fell asleep in the store. I was like, dude, this is exactly what I need. And my girlfriend was like, you look ridiculously comfortable right now. And I was like, yeah, this is me. I was like, I don't care if we get a mattress or not today. I'm leaving with one of these things. So, although I couldn't leave with that one because it was like, I guess it's the floor model, but I did order one, and it was pricey, but I'll report back on whether or not it was worth it or not. I'm gonna take Redemption here just because it's just I mean, it just shows why Redemption is just so good. Damn. Almost 1 full point of damage there. No red portal again. This did take us down the right path, though, which is kind of nice. So I'll report back and let everyone know what my findings are. You know, I'll give you the honest account. Because if I don't like it, you're going to know about it. And I'll also take it back to the store, probably. But at the time, though, it was nice. I mean, it was like I was in heaven. That thing was, it was the right amount of cool, but I still had the pressure of the comforter on my chest and stuff while I was laying in that demo bed. And man, oh man, I was just you could have told me it was the year like 1800, I would have believed you. I wouldn't care. I had zero cares in the world for that thing. So hopefully better sleep is on the way for your boy. But honestly, I've been sleeping okay lately. My schedule is kind of flip-flop back to the, what the heck? Okay. All right. Let's get a random tears upgrade and break the tears cap, I guess. Fine by me. It's going to take us down to scapular territory because we go back and get that half heart. Thanks. Here's your prize. Bon appetit. Yeah, my schedule's flip-flopped to the late schedule again, so I've been starting to go to bed around like 7:30ish in the morning now, but for some reason I just sleep better. I mean, that's been my schedule for many years, ever since I started doing YouTube. And it just naturally feels better for me when I go to bed in the wee hours of the morning than when it's like 12 or 1. I mean, I was doing that during the subathon because my schedule had flip-flopped to the early schedule. My sleep schedule has 2 very distinct phases. It's the early phase and then the late phase. The early schedule, late schedule. Early schedule is when I go to bed at like 10, 11 p.m. And then the late schedule is when I go to bed at like 7, 8, 9 a.m. And for some reason, I sleep better on the late schedule. And I think it's just because it's just what my body is just accustomed to. I can't believe that we're going through another run where we've gotten 0 to 1 movement speed upgrade. But this time around, it's nowhere near the potency of bad as we've seen in the last couple of days. I don't know. I don't know if anyone normal anyway goes through that, where it's like your schedule, something triggers it. This time around, it was Fallout Shelter. I'm not gonna lie. There's always like this catalyst of change that happens for me when my schedule goes from the early schedule to the late schedule. It's usually video game related because I find a game that I really like and then like I can't put it down. Wow, 3 blue portals in a row, huh? Oh, we can at least get down to polar invincibility again. Okay. I mean, it's not taking us to the boss, but it's taking us to the right road, at least. Again, we have the strength card just in case if something bad happens. What? I just don't feel like being in here. What? I also just don't feel like being in here. This is the last floor that we can start bombing on, so we might as well take advantage of it. Yeah, this also constitutes as a floor I just don't, or a room I just don't want to be in. Or this one. Any big rooms can just get skipped. No thanks. I actually can't believe that didn't kill that deacon. I know they're not called deacons, by the way. I just don't know what they're called. I've seen them in when using the rules for Isaac Mattis and stuff, but I can't be bothered to remember. They're deacons in my mind. There's a lack of movement speed. comment the weekly trend. That's why I'm gonna request from Hint of Lime, even though he already does so much for the channel. Request a we need a weekly theme roundup review. To categorize, that was a very close shot. Categorize what kind of week we've had at the Jasonator roundup on Saturdays. This one mightn't I recommend the Gristle, but also recommend that this one be referred to as Hell Week. Dude, Isaac, I don't know what's going on with these phantom shots, but you're trying real hard. It's not gonna work. Not today. Hey, well, would you look at that? Got ourselves a red portal when we needed it most, so we'll take it. We will take it. I do love the fact that we got a movement speed upgrade at the very end, not including SMB Superfan, of course, but we'll take it. So thank you for watching, everybody. Again, thanks for putting up with the bad run so far. I know that they can be a little bit grating sometimes because, like, obviously I'm not in my most chipper mood when I have to deal with them. The only thing I ask for those kind of like scenarios is just to have a little bit of empathy. Like playing those back to back was just I don't even want to think about it. It was a chore, let's say the least. So it's the first time that I've been so frustrated with Isaac that I just flat out I was like, yeah, I just need to hit the reset button. And I'm glad I did, because it was a very wise choice, because I didn't want to get to the point where like oh, here we go again, you know. And this run was also very good, which helped out quite a lot. So, okay, it wasn't very good. It was very good by this week's standard, but a little bit of a crawly episode, not because of bad stats, just we just didn't have any movement speed, which I guess technically is bad stats, but we had fun with Scapular, showing you the power of being able to use the Sacrum Shuffle every single floor, every time you got it. As long as you plan out your Scapular HP correctly, you can do good things with it. So, and of course, Redemption helped us out in the end as well. But again, thank you all very much for the patience throughout the bad runs. All I can say is I'm sorry for them, and you know, you take the good with the bad, and right now we'll definitely take some good. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'll see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Like, thanks to patrons of mine like Oliver Went, Steve with a Lisp, and Heather Furlong. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find at patreon.com/Invicta.